We got the Emiru and Twitch situation is bad. A Bando. It's been a while since I watched the A Bando video. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, dang it.
2025. So TwitchCon 2025 has officially come to an end, and unlike last year, there wasn't any kick streamers running around the event terrorizing everyone, but there was one specific weirdo who chose to make a traumatic decision and literally ruined the event for not only just the streamer he assaulted, but for—
All right, real quick. I gotta get this one off. So my issue with the Emiru situation beyond anything, right? I remember I think I saw a clip. It was like Cutie Cinderella and Valkyrie, I think they were talking on like the Wine About It podcast or whatever podcast they got together. And they were like, yeah, we don't really feel comfortable going to Twitch this year, da da da. You know, other people like Disguised Toast and other OTV members and like just a bunch of different content creators are like, yeah, we're not going to TwitchCon this year. You know, for those that go, cool, but we just don't think right now it's a good environment. We don't think people are safe. We don't think people are well taken care of enough. And you had, what's his name, Dan Clancy or whatever, the CEO of Twitch, talking about how they're taking everything serious. They're gonna have all the protections in place to make sure things get done. And then we have a guy that literally just walks through security and like bear hugs and like borderline attempts to kiss on Emiru. And apparently like her real, like her number one security guy got banned because last year something happened and he detained a guy, like he held a guy in place till the police got there and could handle him. But I don't know if it was the venue or if it was from Twitch's side of things. They were like, hey, he's banned because he can't detain somebody like that. Maybe that's what happened. I'm not, it's foggy, right? The overall coverage of it was really foggy. But they sat there and they put that out there and they were like, yeah, he's banned, right? Like your security guy, he can't come no more. So Emiru still came, got another security guy that she still likes, right? There's nothing wrong with this new security guy, but he just wasn't number one, right? It's kind of like you got LeBron and then you got Rui Hachimura, right? Rui Hachimura is still an NBA player. He's still a competent player, right? But he's not LeBron though, right? So you got the Rui Hachimura from your security team by your side. And then this happens, right? And he shoved him away, but the rest of the Twitch security is just standing there. Nobody checks on her. Nobody asks how she's doing. That it was weird and it made no sense. So it's like if that's what we're letting happen nowadays, Twitch, we gotta log back in. That's not what's supposed to be happening out here, twin. No sir, not at all.
Many others as well. And if that isn't bad enough, the way Twitch handled this entire situation has only made it worse, making a lot of streamers fear for their safety and security.
This is just not a safe environment. And this isn't a new criticism of TwitchCon. This has been consistently something that people have spoken out about for years with TwitchCon.
Just so you guys know, Cutie and I are not going to TwitchCon anymore. We did back out. I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
I'm just uncomfortable.
I saw Valkyrie, I saw Pokey, I saw Hassan, I saw Cutie saying, I don't really want to go to TwitchCon because I don't feel safe. And Twitch's response to that was to be like, oh, don't worry, everyone else. We up security.
It only takes one time.
I should have listened to them.
But what exactly did this weirdo do? Who did he assault? And how did Twitch handle this entire situation?
And isn't Emiru like the biggest female Twitch streamer?
If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the tribe.
Like she's like that.
And while you're at it, don't forget to click that for the community. Now, with all of that being said, let's get into how TwitchCon is basically a big event that spans over the course of the entire weekend. This event has a bunch of activities for both the streamers and the fans as well. It's basically the biggest event within all of streaming, and it's the perfect place for streamers to be able to meet up with some of their supporters and show them some love in an actual real life setting. And this has always just been the setup of TwitchCon. It's basically the same as any other convention, and most of the time, at least up until the last 2 years, it's always gone relatively smooth. Of course, there's always going to be some type of drama or something going on, but there hasn't been anything nearly as bad as the things that took place within the last few years. There's always been a bunch of fun and interactive events that allow the creators attending to compete and network network with one another, such as like gaming tournaments for insane amounts of money. And then of course there's the most popular part of TwitchCon as well, at least for the fans, and this is of course the meet and greet events, which is obviously where fans get the opportunity to meet all of their favorite creators and finally get their chance to take pictures with them, shake their hands, give them a hug, maybe even get their autographs. And of course this is great for the fans and supporters to be able to get this chance to interact with their favorite creators, because a lot of people do look up to some of these people or are inspired by these people, and in some cases they really do just make people's lives better. It's definitely a different feeling, because while it is great being able to meet up with some of your most loyal fans and supporters, it could also just be a little bit nerve-wracking allowing all of these random people to just get into your personal space and you don't know any of their like true intentions or things like that. Of course things like that can always be a risk, especially when you don't have the proper security team, and unfortunately at this year's TwitchCon we would see the downside of these meet and greet events. You see, there's a popular streamer who goes by the name of Emiru, and she's been streaming for nearly a decade now. Over the years, she's managed to see a lot of success, mainly within the gaming community, gaining millions of followers across various platforms and even being closely affiliated with the popular content organization known as OTK. Honestly speaking, I've never personally watched a lot of her content, but I've never really seen her in any sorts of drama, and she really does just seem to be a sweet person. And unfortunately this past weekend she did end up having a very traumatic experience at TwitchCon after some weirdo just leisurely walked up to her meet and greet event and tried to kiss her. Now, obviously, this was a big deal for various reasons.
I'm not gonna lie.
Number one is
On a
literally
side note, bro was that's a pretty big guy. Like Emiru, yeah, we know she's short, but like even when her security man came over, that's a pretty hefty guy. Like he got to be at least, he's pushing 6'4", 6'5". He got to be, cause ain't no way that was very disorderly.
Oh, and number two, it just seemed to be a very lack of security here at this event. And while both of those things are very bad, everything that took place after this happened only made the situation a lot worse. It was clear that Twitch had already handled this situation very poorly with their security detail, but initially after this entire situation happened, Twitch themselves would release a statement to social media, and in that statement they was talking about how the safety and security for all of those attending TwitchCon is the highest priority, and how the weirdo who assaulted Emiru was immediately blocked from returning to the TwitchCon premises.
That doesn't do anything.
He was also banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and from the in-person events, which of course all sounded great, like yay Twitch, they're putting the creators first, protecting their creators. But
On a
Emiru
side note,
herself
that's a lot of Kirby's. I wish I had one. I'm gonna give me a Kirby plushie. I love Kirby, dude. Just for that, I'm on Emiru's side even more. W Kirby lover. But no, like block it. Like they literally, like there was video footage. He's probably gonna cover it. Hold on, how much longer we got? Yeah, we're less than halfway through the video. There's video coverage with bro literally walking out of the venue untouched. No security with him. Like after that, he gets shoved off. Her security shoves him out of the way. He's checking on her. Her friends are checking on her. Security from the actual venue does nothing. Bro just walks right out. So you banning him from the premises doesn't do anything. Arrest that man. Arrest that man. You need to drop the ban. You need to drop the hammer. The way you want to drop the ban hammer on Nina and Zoe now 5-6 months after what happened with Saeed. Drop the hammer on this random. Actually drop the hammer on this random. Because he needs to learn a lesson. Because if you keep sitting there allowing people to get away with stuff, right? We do preventative measures, but things will never be 100% perfect. And that's okay, right? Because nothing in life is 100% perfect. No human being on this planet is 100% perfect. But when something happens, you have to stand 10 toes, burrow them in the dirt. You got to stand on business. You can't let stuff like this slide. You got to handle that, right? And they're not handling that. And that's what's pissing people off. Banning him from Twitch doesn't do anything. Put that boy behind bars. Let him learn his lesson from there.
Would later release her own statement, basically stating how all of this was literally a lie. She stated that after the weirdo attempted to assault her, he was allowed to literally just walk all free, and
exactly.
He didn't even get kicked out up until the point where her manager started complaining and pressing the TwitchCon staff, and that's when he would finally get caught and removed from the premises hours later. And this was something that Twitch literally couldn't even deny, because there was actual proof circulating online of this guy being spotted in the back of others creators' streams.
Yo, that's
literally
wild.
just walking around free after the incident as if nothing ever happened. So after Emiru released this statement to social media, she will also go live to give more insight and details about what had happened. And in the end, she urged people to not even attend next year's TwitchCon.
Okay, I've been talking to Twitch people, and I'm really upset because I noticed a lot of negligence around the event, and I'm not happy with the way that they're handling it now. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I asked them, you know, like, what are they gonna do about this? And you know what they said initially? They said, oh, well, he's banned from the platform for 30 days.
My literal reaction. Because what are we talking about?
What? And then she's obviously like, hello? Like, that needs to be indefinite. What the fuck are you talking about? Also, that's like nothing to do with anything. No one gives a fuck if he's banned on Twitch or not. Like, we're talking about the convention here. So they changed it to indefinite. Takes an hour for that to happen, by the way. These two people are the head of security for Amazon and the head of risk for Twitch. Also, later the same night, I'm not gonna drop names here because I wasn't there, so I didn't see it, but I had multiple people tell me that key Twitch representatives last night were out partying. I really would discourage other creators from going back to TwitchCon, not just because because it was able to happen at all, and
The way they handled it.
what happened during it, and the aftermath. Like,
Now, it was
They said that it was gonna be safe. They promised it was gonna be safe. They said, though these creators aren't coming, it's okay. The ones that are coming, thank you. We're gonna make sure it's safe. We're gonna make sure you love being here. And then they proceeded to show us why it wasn't safe and why nobody should want to be there. Go figure, right?
was definitely clear by the measures and actions taken by Twitch after this happened that they didn't really take it seriously at all. And despite Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, claiming to care deeply about Emiru and the entire situation, he was still seen out later that night having his version of what was supposed to be a good time. And of course, everyone has their own opinions on the type of person Dan Clancy is. Some people like him, some people hate him, some people think that he may even be a weirdo himself. Your opinion
Yeah,
on
he
him
might
is
be.
definitely
He's
your
just a
own,
guy, though.
But I can assure you that he's definitely been receiving his fair share of hate on Twitter.
And others. Obviously, we saw one Twitch streamer yesterday, Emiru, get assaulted by
Yeah, this
a
was
male
terrible.
fan, and a lot of streamers have, especially female streamers, have talked about, you know, the danger that they feel from these sort of toxic, I guess, parasocial kind of creeps. What are you guys doing to prioritize safety? Because I know also a bunch of Twitch content creators said that they were too scared to even come to TwitchCon this year, just in case something like what happened yesterday would happen.
The safety of our creators is a top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch. It extends throughout our society.
It
do
is
think
unfortunately
that
true,
when you're
yes.
live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there. Okay. Now, what happened yesterday obviously was something that we care deeply about, securing this environment.
All right, I'm gonna let him get the rest of his point off, but my issue with this is obviously, yes, you know, if you can ban people, right? People can make new accounts, but for the most part, you can ban them, you can time them out, that sort of thing. Okay, fair. This happened in person. We're not talking about a digital issue. We're talking about an in-person issue. He walked through security to put hands on somebody. Lord forbid he had something actually violent, right? Now, by definition, I suppose this was violent as well, but with the intent to cause harm to her personal being. If he really wanted to do that, he would have got off scot-free, right? He would have got off scot-free. Nobody would have stopped him. That's what we realized here. So you sitting here saying they can ban him online. That's not going to stop somebody in person. You buy a pass and come in person. I mean, from what my understanding is, he was standing in somebody else's meet and greet line and passed through their meet and greet line, over past Emiru's and up in her face. So banning somebody online isn't going to save them. But, again, I'll digress. I'll give him the opportunity to keep going.
We're looking very closely at everything that happened there, and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine, and so I want to see how we can support her. This is just something we have to keep working on. I think everyone identifies our tools in terms of trust and safety as the leaders in the industry about helping creators, but that means there's always more work to be done because that's the world we live in now.
You're the main ones that people stream. You're the main platform for streaming in this way. So of course, by proxy, you would have to be you should in theory have the best, right? If Kick is outdoing you and they perform with lesser numbers, that would be problematic, right? That'd be like UPS beating out Amazon for delivery efficiency. Amazon is basically $1 trillion company. They're $1 billion company. So if they get outperformed by somebody who clearly does not have the infrastructure in place to even hold a candle to them, that means you're incompetent. So saying that doesn't oh yes, it inspires trust. No, it doesn't. It genuinely doesn't. Like we get it, right? This is a bad pandering job. And there's no level of, it feels like there's no direct accountability being assumed right here. And that's the bigger problem.
Anyways, though, obviously on the surface level, this is all very bad, and on a deeper level, it gets even worse. It really just makes you wonder about how much Twitch truly cares about their security and safety of their creators. Because to make matters worse, like a bunch of clips started resurfacing around Twitter from like earlier in the day, and it just made everything much more worse. Like for one, it was revealed that Emiru actually had to do this meet and greet in order to keep her show at TwitchCon as well, because according to the rules, if you cancel one event, then you have to cancel both of them, and she didn't want to lose her show.
So I had to cancel my meet and greet because of the stuff, but in order to, I can't cancel my meet and greet and not cancel her show because of the fact that the reason I cancel my meet and greet is I don't want to be in the same place for 2 hours because of people being weird.
Okay.
And then I'm under contract with them, so I can't cancel one and not cancel the other.
Interesting. Oh.
So I'm sorry,
I kept my meet and
Emmy.
greet because I wanted to keep my show. Surely it'll be
I'm
fine.
sorry, Emmy.
I'm sure everyone will be nice.
And then after this, I also seen rumors starting to float around about how Emiru's favorite personal security guard wasn't allowed to attend this event because he was banned years ago. And that ended up being true after she confirmed in her statement as well that her security guard was previously banned at TwitchCon after she had another encounter with a weirdo who was stalking and following her around a previous event.
For some reason, they're like, yeah, because your security guard touched him, he's like permabanned from the venue forever. But he didn't even hit him or anything. He just like held him.
Yeah.
While they waited for like the police to come. And what the fuck? And it was like my favorite security guard. I can't have him at TwitchCon anymore.
So it's without a doubt that Twitch has completely just failed Emiru and many other streamers as well, and the entire internet has been letting the company hear it over the past 48 to 72 hours. I've seen nothing but hate towards Twitch and the TwitchCon staff, and especially the CEO, for even allowing something like this to happen, and of course all of the measures that was taken after it happened. And there was even a bunch of creators who would go live and share their opinions on this whole thing as well.
And in fact, it wasn't until her manager pressed them for action that they did anything at all. That's unhinged. They didn't want to, jump into action after a fucking assault just took place. I just don't get it. That's completely unhinged. It almost feels like maybe they're more angry about Emiru's bodyguard there shoving the guy. Like maybe they're thinking about banning him from Twitch events in the future or something. Like it doesn't seem like their priority is safety. If they were going to just let this guy walk away until Emiru's manager had to force their hand to do something, this is just not a safe environment. And this isn't a new criticism of TwitchCon. This has been consistently something that people have spoken out about for years with TwitchCon.
Now, all this has done is just completely ruined the stigma around TwitchCon. I mean, people already said they didn't wear deodorant there. I don't know how true that is, but it's one thing to just not want to be around musty people, and a completely
that's
thing
cons
when
of
people
all
are
kinds.
beginning to feel
All
unsafe
conventions feel
at
that
your
way.
event. It's clear that they just weren't taking the security measures seriously, and to make this even worse, it's one of the bigger Twitch streamers that this happened to as well. Imagine if this was just some smaller streamer who didn't have like as much of a voice within the community and things like that. Who knows how this whole thing would have been handled? And with that thought in mind, this could potentially lead to a bunch of creators just not even choosing to go to TwitchCon next year or the years after.
They're gonna
And this is now
eventually
the
have to
second year in a
cancel
row
it.
where a few weird certain people have just completely ruined the TwitchCon experience for everyone involved. Hopefully Twitch can just learn from all of this and tighten up on their security so creators can feel safe for years to come, because I think that this situation is definitely going to drive some creators away. But that's just my personal opinion. As you guys know, the only opinion that matters to me is you guys' opinion. So be sure to comment down below and let me
Shout out that boy. But yeah, Mr. Clancy is not a terrific individual to discuss such things with, unfortunately, right? As a leader for the platform, it's very clear that there's limitations to what they care about,